Yeah. In router 1, how many networks you see in router
2
A?
networks.
Okay. If you want to have third one, virtually, not physically, I want to have third one virtually. So what I can create is a logical interface. Right now, I have two physical interface. I can create a logical interface like interface loop back. And you can give any number. I say loop back 0. And this is a logical interface, not physical interface. I can give IP address like IP address 1.1.1.1.
Subnet mask.
You can fully mask it. If it is loopback, you can mask /32. Now, if you see here, an interface got created and you got an IP address and it is up. Even though it is
Yes.
physically not present,
Yes, sir.
in the routing table, you can see like a physical interface, even the loopback interface appears. So you don't have a real network, but you have simulated a network. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Physically, you don't have a switch or a computer connected in this network. Whenever you want to simply create a network for testing, for pinging, you can create loopback interface. Now you see OSPF, when I enable OSPF, automatically it will pick this address as the router ID. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because it is in the loopback
Loopback.
interface. If you don't have loopback interface, it is going to pick this biggest IP address from the physical interface. On top of all, you can also specify an address as a router ID manually. I'm going to show you one by one. On RA, I'm not going to assign any router ID. I'll show you that router ID will be dynamically picked. Listen carefully. I'm on router A. I'm saying router OSPF 1.
10.
1, okay, 1 or 10. This is the process ID. This is
Yes,
not
sir.
autonomous system number. This is just
Process.
a process ID. I hit enter. And then I need to say network 10.0.0.0 wildcard mask. It is opposite of subnet mask, okay?
Yes, sir.
And then area 0. What does this mean? This means that any interface that has got 10, which means, we are talking about this interface, should be part of area 0. You understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, OSPF will be running on this interface. If I hit enter, boom. Next, network 172.16.0.0, 0.0.255.255, area 0. Now, did I say network 11111? No.
No, no.
Whether you advertise this 11111 or not, whether you include this loopback in OSPF or not, this will be taken as the router ID. Let me show you that. Show IP protocol. Look at this. It is dynamically picked as the router ID. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Next.
Sir, is this area ID always be same for every router?
Yeah, I want to keep all in single area, area 0. Multi-area, when you come to CCNP, you will learn.
Okay.
So in this, single area, all will be in area 0. Now,
Okay.
let's go to router B. There may be some static route we need to remove. Yep.
Yes, sir.
I want to remove this first before I enable OSPF. Okay. Now show IP route, there is no static route. And I'm not going to create any loopback. Listen, I'm not going to create any loopback, but router OSPF1, I'm giving manually a router ID. Can you give an address which is not present as a router ID? Yes, you can. It is just a name ID. So it's not necessary that address need to be a pingable address, need to be available on the interface. You understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, network 10 wildcard mask, it is 0. Network 20 wildcard mask, it is 0. You see, I can see already a neighbor. Router 1 is a neighbor to router 2. It's already
Yes.
full adjacency. Loading is done. Okay, anyway, we'll finish another network 80.
80.
Now verification. Show IP OSPF interface brief. Interface. I want to see what all interface runs OSPF. You can see that F00 is running OSPF, F01 is running OSPF, and Ethernet is also running OSPF, and then a show IP protocol. You see the router ID which I gave manually is the router ID. And I also want to see the neighbor, show IP OSPF neighbor. I can see router 1, means router A is the neighbor. Next, we have finished router B. Let's go to router C now. Router C. On this router also we may have a static or default route, show IP route. Let me remove. I removed show IP route, it's gone. Now what I'm going to do is, see, I'm not going to assign router ID manually, and we are not having loopback interface. Tell me what will be the router ID if I enable OSPF.
Router base router ID.
Don't tell me something, just listen to the question. I'm in router C. I'm not going to assign any router ID manually. And also, I'm not going to have any loopback interface on this router. So what will become the router ID of this router? What happened? There are three ways in which router ID is given. One is you giving manually. Second is taking from the loopback interface. What is the third option if these two are not an option? What is the third option?
Dynamic.
I understand dynamically which one it will pick. I don't have a loopback interface. So which address it will pick? Come on, Kiran, this is very not correct. You should have asked question if you didn't understand. That time you were showing as if you know, but now you are not answering. OSPF will pick the loopback interface as the router ID, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
We saw in router A, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then second option, what I showed you is you can also give manually router ID, which I showed
Yes,
you in
sir.
router B. If I don't do this too, what will be the option? It will take from the physical interface. If it takes from the physical interface, tell me which one will be the which address will be the router ID of this router?
20.
Have you written in your notebook or have you gone through the yesterday's video? The biggest IP address on the loopback interface, if you don't have a loopback interface, the biggest IP address on the physical interface. Which one is the biggest IP address here?
192.
Let's enable OSPF here. Router OSPF 1, network 20. See, you have to mention area. Network. Right. Now let us verify. Show IP protocol. You see, 192 is taken as a router ID because that's the biggest IP address among the interfaces. Physical interface. Now, check the routing table. Show IP route. You will have the route. See, O means what? OSPF. This is the cost. What is the administrative distance? 110.
10.
Now, let's go and verify pinging from here. Ping 192.168.0.2. We are able to ping.
Yes, sir.
So we can ping this router. Let me ping 101. It's pinging. So we can ping from this PC to this PC. Let's ping 90. You know why? Because we did not advertise. So on this C router, I should say network 90. It's written 20. 20 dot, okay, this one. So 90 is not configured. This needs to be 90.
Zero dot 1.
Let me check whether this is configured. No. Now let's ping from here. We should be pinging. Newly added computer. Yeah, we are pinging, which means the route is done. Let's go to router A and check the routing table. We should see 90 here. Show IP route. Yes, you see, you can see 90. Right. So this is the last routing protocol in this course. So from now we are going to learn a lot of very important stuff like ACL, NATing, DHCP. These are all important topics. IPv6 in coming days. So